Welcome to Scotty P Golf, the channel of no regrets. Nah, saying. Oh, I cracked myself up. Alright, this is my home course, Rancho Vista Golf. It's a 9-hole series, a blend of the front and back 9. Due to time constraints, it being a weekend, I wasn't able to film all the holes, so I cherry-picked the best ones to make me look, pretty good, if you know what I'm saying. No, seriously, this is a beautiful day, not too windy on the front 9. This is a par 3, 168 yards. I pushed my tee shot a little bit to the left, chip shot comes up a little bit short, and my par putt does not break. So end up settling with bogey on the first. Second hole is a 380 yard par 4, 380 yards. I ended up pushing this one to the right. However, the place to miss is on the right because, as you can see, it's the other fairway. So left me about 130 yards in, just ended up hitting a dart right at the flag. Left me about 4 feet for birdie, which had a good putt, good line, just didn't break. These greens were punched 2 weeks ago, so I'm blaming it on that. Not my putting, obviously. Who would? So I ended up parring that. Third hole is another par 3, about 179 yards. This one I also pushed to the right into the damn bunker. It was a good lie. I wanted to keep this one low and land in the rough because the pin was short-sided downhill, but it ended up releasing about 20-25 feet past the pin. So I got a long putt for the par save, and sure enough, Drano saved the par. So I'm +1 through 3. The next hole is a par 4, 300 yards. This is a fun hole. It's over water. You can take driver out. Usually it's windy in the high desert, so I usually will lay up, give myself about 100 yards in, which I did here. However, I ended up sculling it. Not really sculling it, just blading it. Ends up rolling off the green. Left me about a 30-yard chip. This was actually a pretty good chip. A little bit to the left, but it was good speed. Left me about 3 feet for par, which my immaculate stroke, I saved par. So the next hole is a 298 par 3. I usually can drive the green. This was a good drive, just went straight, didn't fade, almost hit the group on the other tee box. So I got about a 30-foot tree right in front of me, do a little floppy poo. End up giving me a birdie look. That was a good flop shot. However, this putt was just misread, pushed right, a little bit long, so had some work to do for the par, but it ended up getting it. Next hole is a par 5, into the wind. It's about 15 mile an hour, but this was just a horrible, I don't even know how I made contact. Hit the bottom of the face and rolled about 180 yards. Second shot's a 3-wood. Got held up by the wind, but nonetheless, good strike, landed into the fairway, left him about 90 to 100 yards to the pin. I thought the wind was going to push this a little bit more to the right, but it did not. Left me about 12 feet for birdie, and this one just bounced and bumped to the right. Left me about 4 feet for par, which I do sink. So this one is downwind. It's a par 4, about 390 yards. I was planning on drawing it, but ended up hooking it. However, the golf gods ended up blessing me with some luck here and got through the trees, past the cart path, left me with a nice little approach, about 120 yards to the pin. So I got about 20 feet for the bird. This was a great line. As you can see, the ball bouncing because of the aeration, but it just came up 2 inches to the right. The ball, not me. So I ended up saving par. This is another fun one, downwind. I usually will lay up on this, but since the wind was howling, I'm like, you know what, let me just go for it, because if you hit it great, it will bounce past the car path, leave you about 30 yards to the flag, which is exactly what I did and planned. So my chip shot was actually really good. It funneled to the pin. Left me about 4 feet birdie. As you can hear the wind. And this one, I did push it, but I'm blaming it on the greens. If it wasn't aerated, that would have been it, of course. I mean, you can see that. Yeah. The last hole is a par 5. Very tackable hole. This one I hit a nice draw. It lands up on this dirt hill and funneled left past the car path onto the dirt. Left me about 180 yards to the pin. I'm using a 5-iron here. Had a good line, just ended up chunking it a tiny bit and did come up short. So for my third shot, eagle, was a chip. I flew about halfway there and just watched it bounce and roll right to the pin. Just left me about a foot and a half for the bird. Definitely needed this one today. All these missed birdie putts, so end up getting this, finishing the 9-hole series even par. So it was a good day. Hope you like and subscribe.